Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB +3. Those +2 spells are homebrew spells. We're at +1 at the moment. You can head back and playlist to find it. And today's spell, there's a squirrel outside, it's Phantasmal Killer. Fourth level illusion, cast time of 1 action, range of 120 feet, components verbal somatic, duration concentration up to 1 minute. You tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within range and create an illusionary manifestation of its deepest fears, visible only to that creature. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target becomes frightened for the duration. At the end of each of the target's turns, before the spell ends, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 4d10 psychic damage. On a successful save, the spell ends. Higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 5th level or higher, the damage increases by 1d10 for each slot level above 4th. Nightmares of the creature. I've had great role-playing potential with this spell that's come up. As in, a player casting it on someone, and then that one specific character is screaming about something just relating to them. If I remember, it was their sister coming back for some kind of vengeance. And not just like a schmuck commoner, this was a bandit whose sister came back as a paladin, though that was the nightmare. But you can have a lot of fun by that, and potentially even information if they're screaming out anything. Cast this, again, they believe it, and you could have some lich screaming about some ancient hero that tried to stop him a long time ago and got close. So weirdly, you can get information that way, because it specifically is the nightmares of that creature, or it could be entirely just babble. As in, like, oh yeah, no, a normal dreamlike nightmare, or it could be a specific targeted thing. Like, you know, the vague nightmare, like a creature's worst nightmare, or a literal dreamlike nightmare. Either way, that's pretty entertaining, or have it specifically tailored toward, like if you're a warlock casting this, your patron. Lots of fun, creepy themed things there. Though again, single target concentration for a minute. It is a range of 120 feet, and still an action to cast, 4th level. Now, that's 40d10 if they don't pass the save. Though, even with all that, the big one is the fact that it also provides the fear condition. And is not limited, and it's not limited to a specific location within the spell's area like Phantasmal Force. Once you apply this to a creature, again, within 120 feet, they are frightened until the spell ends. So really you're casting this for the frightened condition, and then the 4d10 is just a really nice bonus. So it's really combining two different spells, or namely effects. Well, not really, but kind of know what I mean. Truly what you should be casting this for is the fear effect, and then the damage is the nice bonus. But dice roll is usually pretty flashy in a description, so that normally draws the eye. The one thing to bring up with the frightened condition is normally it doesn't approach the source of its fears. But the spell, just like, unlike Phantasmal Force, does not give you a specific area you're planting this. It's just affecting one creature's mind. It's not making an illusion somewhere. At least not one you can target. So that one I'd probably leave up to GM discretion. But, I mean, if this is the case, they won't move. Or they might move erratically, or they might move specifically away from the caster. Like, is the caster the source of their fear? Technically no, because they're frightened during the entire duration, whether the illusionist is there or not. It also doesn't specifically say frightened of you, so the illusionist is not the source of the frightened condition. It's whatever this nightmare is, but you're not specifically planting it in a certain location within that 120 feet, like the 10-foot cube of Phantasmal Force. This is just nightmares attacking the creature. And because it's consistently attacking, where Phantasmal Force you had to be next to it, this one is consistently hounding them with 4d10 psychic damage. So can they just not move? Or if you want to rule it in a fun way, do the scatter rules of roll a d8 and see where they're moving. d6 if you're using hexagons. So it has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, and can't move, on top of taking 4d10 psychic damage per round. When you word it like that, the spell isn't that bad, though it's if you read it like that. Which, for the sake of this video, I'm going to be reading it like that. If you disagree with that interpretation, you can mention it down in the comments, but hey, it gives some weight to this spell. 7 out of 10, because it's psychic damage, not many things resist that, and it's the frightened condition without that listed source, so they, in the interpretation of the spell we just talked about. The issue is the fact they can make a save every turn for it. Every turn. So, wisdom save, breaking out of it. It is at the end of their turn, so they're still getting that disadvantage at least one round, unless they pass the initial save. Anyway, saves are saves. 7 out of 10.